deteriorate very quickly. And so what 100 Families does is we're all working very hard in our silos, representing a little arrow. We're doing as best we can with what we have in our organization. But if we really want to change Pulaski County, we're going to have to figure out a way that we can align our activities to close these execution gaps and make it a better place to live. So we launched in Sebastian County, and we launched in Crawford County, and we launched in White County. And this is all the pre-work activity, the pre-launch activity that we're doing here in Pulaski to launch in January. But here's some statistics from those communities who have banded together in the 100 Families Alliance. In Crawford pre-launch, they had onboarded 54 families, had 124 children in them. They were receiving care from the Alliance members. White County, we had 108 families with 237 children. And Sebastian currently, at last measure, the Alliance is currently actively serving 95 families. I'll tell you, in the first year in Sebastian County, as we were just kind of figuring out what 100 Families was, we served 315 families, 759 children, and the impact, we measured the impact. The impact was very, very good. In fact, it was better than any direct service that any of us in that alliance had seen by ourselves with our own individual work. And so here are some of the metrics that we're tracking and that we're going to bring to Pulaski County. The red line is at intake. We measure in 13 different areas. We give an assessment of where the client is, and the blue line is at the end of each month. We track. We track where the individual is at the end of each month. And that blue line is starting to show you what we're developing into an index that will show you the impact. This is a bar graph. Maybe I like my phone. There we go. Okay, this is another way of representing that same data. And I'll explain housing to you. So, at intake in Crawford County for those 54 families, in one of the areas that we measure, which is housing, left is bad, right is good. On the left-hand side, we see that 31% of the families that we met were homeless at the point that we met them. Whether it was in court, it was in the child welfare office because the children didn't make it into foster care. It was in the probation office. 31% were homeless, 54% were at high risk of becoming homeless. And then, as the community started to serve them and re-engage, homelessness went to 2%. At the end of the month, we reassess every client in a collaborative. 2%, 68% were now at risk, but stability increased to 30%. And this is pre-work activity. Crawford just launched a few weeks ago. And I'll tell you what we've seen in Sebastian County is housing and food and recovery are things that when the community works together, it's so fast. It was faster than I knew that it would work if we could work together, but it worked better than I thought it was going to. And it's because we're not coming just us solutions, we're coming as a team. And we're providing the things that we're good at. We're good at something, I'm good at something, you got another asset, and we all engage at the same time in a very coordinated way. Food was one in Sebastian County that was particularly bad. It was over 30% of the families were at risk. They didn't have SNAP, they had no income, they had kids at home, and they had no food, which was really surprising for us. And then transportation was That's what we do as we're tracking these assessments. So, I'm sorry, I'm going to turn it over. I want Karen to get all excited about the data.
So, as you can see, we can measure an index across all sectors. So, this is education, housing, recovery, 14 of them, their status of their child welfare case, legal status. So across all 14 assessment areas that all of you get to take part in by assessing families and being part of their care teams. And we come up with an index at intake. I don't have to wear this. Okay. So at intake, you can see that we were at 3.01 for Crawford County, 3.12 for White County, 2.78 for Sebastian. So of those counties, we immediately can tell that they are closer to crisis. They are in more crisis areas by families in Sebastian County than any of the other counties. One of the interesting things then is how are we seeing movement over time? And that's what's very, very exciting is whenever you can see those scores move up in every single one of the assessment areas. And so we take that average again. And so the SFI for Crawford went from 3.01 to 3.32. And this is a very short time. I mean, they just launched last month, so this was within a couple of months that they have seen that increase. White County went from 3.12 to 3.49. So this is just a way to quickly be able to look at a county and say how much in crisis is that community, and then what impact have we had so far across all sectors. And so I love the bar graphs because they use the percentages of clients that are currently in crisis or thriving or instability. But this is a quick way for us to be able to show our impact in every single month. We expect that number for our families will increase, that the families are getting better. That's what that means, right? Is that they are moving towards more stability in their lives. They're getting jobs, they're getting homes, they're in recovery, they haven't used, they're obtaining transportation and food for their families. It's a very impactful statement whenever we move forward. And you can see Sebastian County made a much larger move from crisis to stability, and that's because they've had longer to do it. So we've been launched a longer time, and so we expect that to happen as we go forward. It's just another way to look at those bar graphs that we can share and will share with you every single month. So 100 families, I remember sitting where you are, and a lot of times when somebody starts introducing something, and it can be so difficult to understand what it is, what it is and what it's not, that kind of thing. So what I kind of wanted to just tell you is what 100 families is versus what it's not. Because I think that's so important. There's so many misconceptions about what we do when we come into a community to work and what you're going to do. And so what 100 families is not something Restore Hope is doing. It is something we are asking you to do as a community. 100 Families is not another program. It is an initiative or a movement. 100 Families is not a one-size-fits-all. It is a method to help each community find the best way to help struggling families. 100 Families is not a support for foster parents. It is a support for parents of all types. It is not a networking group. Instead, it's a new way to ride a bike. Have any of you seen the YouTube where they switch the wheels or it's very confusing. but the point is that they have to learn a new way to ride a bike. And everyone who gets on that bike immediately cannot do it the first time. They have to try and try and try and try. And once there's a switch in their mind, all of a sudden they can their mindset changes and they know how to do it and they know how to do it forever. And so that's what 100 Families is meant to be, is a new way of working together. It takes a mind way that is so transparent, where we are all sharing information in order to help families. So although stories are extremely powerful, 100 Families is not a single success story. It is data-proven results. I could go on and on and on about 100 Families, the initiative, and it's not a government handout or a rubber stamp of approval or denial. We don't, just have people line up and say, come and get it, we're going to approve you or deny you. But it's relational, it's conversational, it's opportunity-driven solutions. And it's not agency-centric, so that's such an important piece of it, is that we, each of us can set aside, our identity as agencies in order to say, hey, whatever's best for the family, that's what we want. And so it is not agency-centered, it is client-centered. It is not punishment, it's healing, it's not despair, it's hope. That is what 100 Families is to me, and I hope that you will come up with your own list as we go forward. But today is really special because Restore Hope has worked in the fields of law enforcement, incarceration, child welfare, substance abuse, and how those are so related. And we see that in every single one of our families, the way that those different sectors and issues interact in our families' lives, and how if we only address one, we have not solved an issue. We have only put one of the problems aside, but there are so many others that we must work with. So I'm going to hand it over to Paul, and he's going to bring up an expert panel to talk to you about how these 3 areas intersect.
So I'm going to pass the mic now. First question, I have a couple of questions for our distinguished guests here, leaders in the community. And the first is, what do you qualify as? What do you do? How long have you been doing it? And then we'll be able to, I've got a couple questions, and maybe there's some questions from Zoom or from some here.
Milton Brown, about 28 years with Vision Children and Family Services. Currently in a position on statewide team decision making supervisor for our state, working with families in crisis and supervising a group of facilitators or families who are in crisis. And at one time, trying to develop a plan of action to try to find the best and safest ways for children, whether that be in their relatives' home or foster care or in their home safely. Also, that would be pastor here in Little Rock, that's the DCLR, and a lot of missions working with families in crisis right there. Some of you may remember back in the day when there was called Little Rock. That's where our church was, right there. A lot of drug issues and women for years working with families in crisis there as well. So I can go on about that.
Eric Hughes, current Pulaski County Sheriff. Spent 30 years in law enforcement at Little Rock Police Department. Retired as assistant chief for 10 years. After I retired, a couple people called me and said, hey, just see what we're doing at Arkansas Baptist College. And ended up working, volunteering with a program called Exodus to help men and women who were incarcerated, Arkansas Department of Community Corrections, to have hope. To realize that just because you have a felony record, that doesn't define who you are. Learned a lot from working with the team there, and ran in SURE to try to bring those changes, those programs into Pulaski County Sheriff's detention center. And we currently have a reentry program in the facility trying to help those men and women who are in our facility to come out and be successful, to have hope, and to have some right connections to help them deal with their underlying issues that led them to being in the facility.
Good afternoon. I am Deborah Bell. I serve as the Director of Programs for Better Community Development which is in Midtown Little Rock. How about that? I have served as a community developer, community organizer, a member of the Rascal Memorial United Methodist Church, where I now am a pastor. How about that? But again, we have been serving in the community since 1981 under the direction and the vision of Reverend Dr. William H. Robinson Jr., who is the pastor emeritus. Presently, we run a rehabilitation program, substance abuse program that's residential and outpatient for men and women. So for 40 years, but for 40 years, we've been working in the community with people who are considered the least, the last, and the lost. From gang and addiction to community housing organization where we've been home for first-time home buyers. We take a holistic approach on working with people in the community. And one thing I will say is that Better Community Development believes in partnerships, because there's so many pieces to people who are hurt, and we realize we can't do by ourselves, so we consider an opportunity to work with 100 families.
I'm a resident of those facilities they talk about. I was in jail and I was in the treatment center. I'm a recovering person, been sober almost 15 years. I've worked in substance abuse, thanks to my old boss, for over a decade. I worked in, now I'm working as a peer support specialist trainer supervisor in Arkansas in medical assistant treatment program, working in the remedy with the opioid epidemic. And I'm blessed to also have became homeowner. I've been there, I'm working on it, and I'm working for it. Thank you.
It's good. I've had the pleasure to work with BCD and when the sheriff, he was in Little Rock, now at the sheriff's office, Pastor Brown, both through Bethesda and with DCFS. So I've got to see your work here in this community, and that's when I was working for Fellowship Bible Church, doing direct service, making grants. And one of the things that I had a unique perspective there, when you get money away, people find a way to get to know you, right? And so in that process, I meet such good people that are doing such good things. And so it's been my pleasure to know you all for many, many years, and to be able to work with you on this Homeowner Families program here that we're launching in Pleasant County. But if I could, the next question is, in your work, in each of your unique work, it's a problem or barrier that you see being able to help the client get out of the crises that they're currently in and not fall back into it. What are those big barriers?
I got blessings. Trying to do this new blessing. Wow, that's hard. I always see the work major that I learned working with individuals with substance abuse and housing. I mean, it's magic. Individuals need to have somewhere to be set. You can start doing something, getting your life together. It's hard to do it on the fly, not knowing exactly where you're going. So I would obviously start out at the house. I could go home, and you can move on. There are too many barriers to even know. Everybody's different. I would say that as far as substance abuse is concerned, 30 days is a joke. 30 days is like
really not enough time to really deal with all the trauma. Mental health is a major piece of that, because what we discovered is that most persons with addiction have had some type of trauma in their life early as a child that never got dealt with. So that's why they have problems in school. This disease, this whole thing is like a cancer, because it starts in one part of your body, but it moves quickly. So I think partnerships are key, but as far as substance abuse, I'll say this. You can't put a Band-Aid on one thing and expect for your ankle to be okay. I can't go to get a teeth pulled because I don't have any money. If I don't have any money, then I'll use a drug to make sure that I can deal with that. So there's so many issues. And the last thing I'll say, of course, money plays a part. And we gotta have a system, governmental system, that understands how much it takes to help somebody rebuild their lives. It's not just a piece of it. So that's one thing.
There's so much been said about what people need. What I see in our facility, I see men and women who don't have hope that they can accomplish something, that things can be different, because they don't have a connection to resources. If you can believe in them and help them and walk them through the process, they need a place to stay. That they need help if they stumble. And the help has to start prior to being released. We've got to help them where they can maybe think a little bit clearer. They're not struggling with the tyranny of the moment. How am I going to get the food? Where am I staying? What am I doing about the kids? We've got to slow down the release. We've got to bring wraparound services. The sheriff's department, we can't do it all. There's very little we can do, but we're trying to have partnerships so that we can bring the services to them. People need help. I think when the service community has to change our mindset. Stop assuming that people are where they are because that's where they want to be. I had a young lady in the class before, and I was asking her, she's in the class a couple of weeks, I said, well, what's changed for you? How do you feel? And one day she said, I always thought I was supposed to be in jail. I was supposed to be a drug addict. Because that's all I saw my mom and dad do. Now I see I can do something different. Well, you see the light bulb come on. And you see that she thinks she can do something different. Now it's up to the community, it's up to the resources that come together to provide the background services to help that person realize that she's starting to see that she can accomplish. And so it's that they need that support from the different organizations that need to come together and help that person holistically.
Saying that people, families who are in crisis, they're there. I was saying the same thing as Mr. People saying that they're not there because that's what they want to be. That's what they found themselves because of the crisis they're in. Child welfare system, where you have so many foster parents or caseworkers or supervisors frontline who come into this profession. Child welfare, well-being, want to help families so that they get bogged down sometimes by the system itself, which is unnecessary bureaucracy of trying to help people. And so it's difficult for the caseworkers and the supervisors to navigate that, and how much more so for those families. The overwhelming children and family services, the task with providing ensuring safety. That's paramount. That's the most important thing. The children, parents, they're turn out safe with their children. They just not out. They've been living. They're not being thrive. They've been living, but again, caring for what they have learned to do it in a different way. And so they become overwhelmed. So families need hope. They need be able to have hope that they can, that they're not just going to be judged for where they are, also we recognize where they can be, where they want to be. And so that takes getting to navigate the child welfare system is a scary thing. The case worker investigator comes knocks on someone's door with an allegation, and the first thing they're thinking about is their children. That may be the case, but that's not the most important thing. That's not what they're trying to do. And so we need to let them understand we really want to walk beside you and give you some hope, and also not judge you, but also help you to be able to. So, family, I've seen families overwhelmed by just services. I was sharing this a little bit earlier, about 15 years ago, I think. Now, I remember being a part of initially we're trying to do something called the system of care. I see that common families being a better version of that. We're trying to do is basically not have families overwhelmed by the agency just throwing them out services, something they need, something they not need, and families are overwhelmed by the sheer things to do this, the things that they're trying to do, and some may not necessarily what they're telling me what they need to be done. I also see we not sure if that's me. One operated the household with the Moines County Development Integrity for about 2 or 3 years, almost about that. And these individuals also had young men aging out of the foster care system, giving them hope. I saw young men who said that they wondered why we were doing what we're doing, because they didn't understand why someone would care enough just to do something to help them, because they had never seen that. So that whole navigation of the system, someone to walk with them. And the last thing I'll say is that education and family services, when a family oversees time in these services, even the foster care, if they're in foster care, hopefully what they're trying to do is get them either to be reunited with their families or with a relative, or move them navigate through the system in a fashion so that they can get to a forever home. And that's intended not to be the language to go up in the system, or if they're involved in the case, time limit as well. But once that case closes, that family needs to have someone who will be there for a lifetime to help them and wrap around them. So those are things I've seen.
So this is a pretty caring group, and I'm sure this is a little less caring than those that are here. But for those that we tend to talk about the issues, and we show the data. And the real crisis that we get some feedback if you're on that's all we need to do. If you want to see, get it done. So a lot of people get overwhelmed if you're not in this every day. You'll start to get overwhelmed, and then you'll start to pull back. I mean, what in the world can you even do? Right? And so for those that want to know why, we should get engaged, why we shouldn't abandon someone who's in 3 areas of crisis and has multiple charges, is adequate to the pocketbook. The way that we currently do things is very, very expensive. And unless we work together to change the current outcomes of individuals coming out of the jail, the individuals that are coming aging out of foster care, the individuals, by the way, I would say, out of foster care and no fault of their own, of the individuals that are coming out of prison, which has about a 45% success rate, by the way, in Arkansas prisons. If you come out, about a 45% chance of staying out for more than 3 years. And the average time served for someone who goes to prison is just over 4 years, and it costs between $4,000 a year. So everyone that was sent to prison is about $100,000 to the Arkansas taxpayer, with a 55% failure rate as far as re-entering society and everything like that. So if you don't have, if this isn't part of your personal story or your family story, extended family story, your neighbor, any loved one that you might care for is part of your pocketbook. Right? What affects any one of our neighbors directly impacts us all indirectly. It affects the taxes that we pay. It impacts your school that the kids are going to. Sheriff, I learned this first from you, Sheriff, when you were at LRPD. You were trying to get a program together that you were looking at incidents of crime in the neighborhood,
and then trying to figure out how you can work with the teachers if there were children that were impacted because they were probably going to need some special attention that next day if that happened in their house or in their neighborhood. Well, and so what impacts any one of us directly impacts me directly, impacts you all indirectly. Might not see it coming. Might not really understand it, but that's the way things are. And the way that we're dealing with the issues right now, it's not very effective and it's very expensive. So what we found is when we bind together as a community, we pledge to work together, and all 100 families move from crisis to career, that the outcomes start to become much, much better. And the hope is we're still the first, not for our class, but for us. I mean, the experience just here on the stage and dealing with this, we probably have 100 years right here in this community. And, but the hope is we're still the first. There are days, I know that y'all are better than me, but there are days I woke up and I was like, I don't know why I don't but questions from the field here, any questions for any member of the panel? Do we have anything on Zoom consideration? Is there anything that y'all would like to talk about that really on board or something that you'd like the community to know that you're doing? Talk a little bit about this slide of the team decision making unit for the state, which has been a part of what we've been doing in child welfare for the last 6 years. As I said, I've been a supervisor with that unit of facilitators for about a little 2 years. Prior to that, I worked as area director in Pulaski County. And one of the things that I see is so important, that's 100 families initiative that going and was introduced to that facilitator and then Jerry Aubrey, very active involved with the committee. He was an investigator, was a supervisor. He was telling me, saying, experiment that about 100 families. And I was like, we find what's going on here. Because one of the initiatives with team decision making is that we're coming together with families in crisis, trying to make sure that we come up with action plans. But the thing about team decision making, those action plans are really not as good as they should be without community stakeholders, providers. There's one thing that DCF has to tell you, investigators, supervisors, talk about this is why we're here, this is going on. It's another thing to have a family there. But they're crisis, they can tell you one of the things I love about team decision making is that you're talking to the family, say, hey, we need your input. You know what? You're the expert in your family, you know more about you than we do, they than us. But they're in crisis, everyone's in crisis. So being able to coalition of experts in the community who can help them come up with a plan, because again, you got the investigator who's going to be turned into a caseworker who'll be coming out in the home visits, maybe going to other main outlets, referring for services. If you need somebody else, and I love about it, when you glean, I'm looking forward to this. I see it happening instead of kind of a big play where you're actually getting those coalition people come to the table and be able to say, hey, this is what we do, this is how we can help. And so that's one moment I'm excited about possibly that moment here in Pulaski County, because of all resources here, we can do a whole lot.
Well, I can talk a lot about things we're trying to do with the Sheriff's Office, from having a reentry program starting that last year to try to reach the men and women in the facility. What we have is a 3-phase program. The first phase is a 12-week academy. We're working with individuals, trying to help them change their mindset and look at decisions that they're making about rolling out or what have you. So it's a whole curriculum of that. And then in phase 2, which Paul has been working real hard at, we kind of knocked some things out of it, but to have a work readiness program, to work with Pulaski Tech to be able to teach people how to weld, and working with the business community so that we're not just giving you a skill, but we're also letting the peers and employers that are willing to hire you. So we've got to have those connections. Thinking about our June Deputy program, bringing that online, where we're working with our youth, because you gotta work with people who are incarcerated, and we gotta work with our kids who may be in trauma, in situations, and we can help them. And I'm excited today. I just found out today that we applied for the grant, our youth daddy program, and we just received notice that we received $600,000 grant for your program. I recognize that government can only do so much. We don't have so many resources, but there are a lot of resources out there, and that's why we seek grants. And I'm also excited. Last month, our foundation set up Pulaski County Sheriff Prevention and Reentry Foundation to raise money. We got our nonprofit status last month to raise money for our youth daddy program to help our youth, and raise money for our reentry program to help people who are passing through our facility. So I'm excited about what we're doing, and you've got to have the connections. We can have all the resources, even money coming in, but if we don't have the people on the ground to help them, to help these individuals, to provide that wraparound service, and it's coordinated to ensure that people, as you mentioned, that people get the service that they need, and not the ones that they don't need. And we have to have someone help them with that, to take that, so they're not stuck in tearing on, look, all the money, where do I go? And it's my understanding that this program helps with that, to try to coordinate those resources with those individuals. And so it's so important that each of us are trying to do individually, that we're able to come together collectively, so that the services that you can provide, housing, I can't provide housing, but you can provide housing. And people need some place to go. Because a lot of times people don't understand, all I know is what I know. And even when you're rolling out, and where can you go? And the only place you think you can go is with a family member. And that may not be the best place for you. So we've got to help these individuals process the thought, maybe I need to go somewhere else. And then we can validate the place that they're going to, so they know that they're getting the care that they need, and so they help them along the way. So I'm excited about what's going on within the sheriff's department. I'm even more excited about partnerships to bring all of this together.
Well, I was about to let these two gentlemen take all the thunder and all the sister up here. Thank you. But I would like to say that we also celebrate. We just received a 2-year grant from the National Institute of Health as a partner with UAMS to do COVID testing. And the way this will work is that persons who have, within the criminal justice system, who have a substance abuse and might get a treatment program, before they need treatment, they will be tested. After they need treatment, wherever they want to live, if they're living with someone else, we'll be tracking and testing them as well. And that's a way to ensure that once they leave our program, they've been tested, they tested negative, but wherever they're going to live, it might be something there. So again, that's another way to have a partnership and enhance what we're doing. The other thing I'll say is, Monty mentioned this, and you talk about hope. Monty was homeless, and I won't tell the story, he can tell it. Monty never thought about owning his own home. He just thought about living somewhere else in the world. So again, with ongoing counseling and things and negative, it was planted in his heart, in his mind, in his spirit, because he is a man of God, I will tell you that. And was able to be with his son. We see a lot of mothers with children, but there are fathers who also are now raising their children. And was able to buy a brand new home. Talk Monday say just a little bit about home. You don't talk about home. That's key.
She's right. I remember, because I want to talk from personal detail. I'm going to give you this perspective. And then I'm going to talk about that. Because I wanted to say something too. Man, it's nothing like programs to help people. We have programs. But come 5 p.m. program shut down. Ain't nothing happening. 5 p.m. everybody in the house on Friday in the house. Saturday go by, Sunday go by. Then they tell us be somewhere on time for this program. By the time Saturday, Sunday, y'all call up 4 times.
Be real, Monty.
I'm just keeping it real.
Be real.
And for me, I mean, it's done right. I mean, I became a homeowner mainly because I got custody of my son. And I was getting tried to custody of my son. I was getting divorced, and the judge said, your life looks like it's pretty good. I want to use this child. I don't really want kids. I still want to be married. My son is 13, and I raised him. I was supported by men of God. And they helped me learn how to raise my son. My son got his degree, and he got his wife. And he lives alone with his wife with no children. Nothing like his mom. You know, so we go back to your heart has to be in. Man, provide. You provide your service and serve to me on the trash can. You know, so it has a lot to do with how you give me the service. Are you empathetic? Do you care? That's another thing. Sometimes you can overly care. You know, so I do appreciate that you guys do this best capacity. Individuals are letting us here start coming into your facilities. You're letting people that have been there, that have suffered, try to make a difference in other people's lives, and they struggle on the way up, and you make it the next day. Because I have something to get up for, something to look forward to. It's not just a job, it's a ministry to pastor. Hey, thank you all.
Thank you.
One of the things that we're announcing is with the 100 Families Initiative coming to Pulaski County, we have through Assistant Director Phil Harris, he has a program with Park Workforce Services that is called Career Connect. And it's a subsidized employment program. So any of the clients that we all have and are able to serve, and they can go get what we call our model kind of a second job. It's a job where they can start a career, be able to reimburse the employers here in the community for the first 6 months of being able to hire our folks. And there's a tier below that. That's one of the programs that will be involved as we collectively serve someone, and they're making their journey from crisis to stability, and then they start their career track, and through the last tab, we're trying school or something, then a partner business will be able to be reimbursed for hiring one of our clients for the first 6 months of the total cost of employing a person, which is really simple, because a lot of our clients, and they still be under supervision, and they got to go to their parole officer in the middle of the day and say work, and they might not have their expectation while they're doing it. So it's a whole day, which is irritant to the employer who is still trying to produce a vision. And so this is one of those things that helps stabilize someone and really get them on that career track and get them launched. We often think of it as work. It's the rocket. There's no fuel in the rocket now. So we all work together, get someone to do it. No pressure right now. All right. Okay. So one more time. Any questions here? Yes, ma'am.
Can I use the microphone?
Yeah.
All the things that are
Awesome. I want to say, for one, thank you all for what you're doing. I come from the mental health side, but also networking with churches and political leaders and pastors and sheriff's office and schools and all of that with my husband and his network. And anyway, I just wanted to say, I think there are a lot of people that want to help, and maybe there's a lot of gaps of how do I help? What does that look like? And for me, my experience has been with incarcerated people in crisis, and I absolutely just am honored to work with them. But I've noticed, I would say it's very sparingly, but the Christian evangelical world doesn't exactly, I think, know how to approach differences. Does that make sense? And so, that's been a discouragement for me, I'll just admit, that I'm not sure how to change. I often do my best in mental health services or with the person in front of me, but how do I empower other people to understand your side and understand your side and DCFS and how everyone has a side, and I feel like people haven't been able to clearly understand or hear it, or even know that they have something to bring to the table. How do you think we could fill in those gaps? That's a really open-ended question, but also thank you. I feel inspired. I want to keep working hard so I can bring what I have to the table.
Just here. I've been blessed to have the ability to be able to train a lot of people how to work with individuals in substance abuse. And I've had to tell some people that this isn't for everybody. Because it's not for everybody. But if a person has it in their heart, educate themselves on some things. I'll do the work out of myself. But I might need to know how a mental health individual works with their person. I might need to go deeper. That I asked another individual. The first thing the person said to me is, I do not really know where you're coming from, but I do care. Right after that, you got me. Because you know people act like they know where I came from. I'm like, you do not know. You know what I'm saying? You do not know where I came from. But I can respect you that you really want to help. I think for me, and what we've done, we've invited people to come in to see is a space to know what our mission and vision is, and not to change our mission and vision to what you think you want to be. So again, and the truth of the whole thing is building a relationship where we trust each other and we understand each other. It doesn't matter to me about evangelical or whatever. We all have struggle. And we have to accept people, all people, exactly where they are, and not try to change them. But to have an ear to listen, not give information and talking. So again, for us, we have lots of partners from all different types of denominations and very diverse people that we serve. But again, I love people coming just to get to know us. And once they know we're all leave, they are asking to come back. We have facilitators who have been group facilitators for a while, and I have tried to pay them, and it all be great. They say, I am more fulfilled participating in this group and conducting than people are who are sitting in this room. So again, it's building a relationship and not intended to fit.
I agree that you have to get engaged and see. That's why we allow people, if you're interested in what we're doing, I want you to come in and sit on the class for a minute. Not to hear me talk or one of the facilitators talk, but to listen to the men and women who are in our facility, who decide, for whatever reason, I want to be a part of this. I want to improve myself, and I don't know how. To come in and listen to me. I'll tell you this, that always believed in trying to help the community, always believed in prison ministries, people doing that. But you know, I thought that was not for me. It was for people. But you never know when receipts of life change. And because someone invited me to come and said, hey, I know you've been working with Arkansas Baptist College for these years, and I want you to come and see what we're doing. I spent probably 5 minutes in the classroom. And I asked, what can I do to help? He said, well, you teach class. So I love to teach class, but I'm not sure how I'll be able to see it as being a former police officer. Well, 4 years later, volunteering, I realized this is something I can do. It was the thing is, volunteering is coming and seeing. And I think that's important to come and see what's going on. And you may realize, like I said, you gotta have a heart for it. You can't come in and say, I'm coming here to fix you poor, unfortunate souls. But seeing this, because they can read you, they know whether you're serious or not. And you may find that, wow, I can't do this, but I can support this in another way. And so that's important, because you may not be able to facilitate a class. You may be able to help the organizations that are trying to have an impact on these individuals. Because, and Paul, I want to say this to people concerned about the impact. You may not care about, or people may not care about these individuals. Everything you're concerned about people and restoring people to the community. But if you're only concerned about crime, then understand the connection. But I have one person in my facility that is addicted to drugs and they're committing murders because of their addiction. Well, they're doing 10 to 15 murders for long detention. Now, I will point out that one of the ladies in the facility said, sir, we're doing a whole lot more than 10 to 15 murders. So, after they laughed at me for a minute, I said, I'll stick with 10. So, 10 burglaries represent 30 victims in our community. Because that's people living in a home, it's the neighbors, it's people you talk to tell you, like, you felt like you were victimized, and the trauma of all that, what happens to the child coming home in that home, that someone's been there, somebody is there. What is that child going to do to make them feel safe? What decisions are they going to make? And I restore one person to the community, not me, us. And they're working, they're providing for themselves, and the family, they can restore with the rest of the family, maybe not, they're going to take time. But they're working, they're providing for themselves. That's 10 less burglaries in our community. That's deadly crime. That's 30 less victims in our community. Now we're dealing with the perception of crime in our community. You address the perception of crime, actually address crime, and the perception of crime. Then you increase the likelihood of economic development in your community. More economic development means more job opportunities. More job opportunities means more people working by themselves and here to get the government and taxes being paid, more things can be done. So the only concern is about being safe. So what we're doing, restoring people to the community so that they don't remain thin. They're not involved in the system. The most important thing is restoring people to the community. The byproduct of it is reduction in crime and the improvement in the quality of life in our community.
So, about 16 or 17 years ago, we founded a nonprofit called Five with the CDC. Five with the CDC was played out in John chapter 5. Jesus left gave narrative of 5 coaches, people, multitude of those who were laying all, and there was a story about a man who's been there for 38 years, and he said, everyone put a knee in, and Jesus came next to me, you want to be healed. So I founded an organization because I looked around and saw that we had one of the first things we founded, started in our community, that we basically got from getting things online, basically we were investigating that there are people for whatever reason eating food. And so I've seen that people going away that people don't care about you know because they don't have what you care. You show them how you care about something tangible. You can't tell me about anything, especially relates to your religion or your society is unless that's not concrete, it's a tangible need. And so, in our creation, the same thing in the agencies, I see that the same thing. Being able to bring people together, you guys have a birth, church girl, everybody in 100 families who said it's not one size fits all. So somebody says, I can't go to prison, I don't know how to go to the jail, I don't know how to teach job training. So in my approach, we had those classes, we had a support group, also PPP, so post-prison population, trying to step down recidivism. So it's like, come in, we're getting in, come in and figure out what is your passion. It doesn't have to be one thing. And so, in doing that, you give an opportunity. One of the motives of our approach is that people reaching out to people. I remember there was a gentleman that we used to talk about a food prison. One time we had open there for 3 days a week, Monday to Friday. We come on, you see people out there at church because the park got food people. And then we get food, and then there's no gentleman come there and we get food and we continue to do that as a second matter. It's not an issue problem. But eventually, this gentleman brings family, and eventually he started helping. He started helping us organize, started helping us, the ladies who operate in the So I think it's important to recognize that people recognize that there's an opportunity, the same thing to the agencies, but I kind of look at it as the same thing. People say that as a pastor of the church and also in the community where we have a lot of the investigators and case workers, they're also out there, people say many, not say, I would say majority, not all of them. And so they, again, have a lot of different gifts and talents. And so find out what is it that you can do to bring to the table to be a blessing or help somebody else. And I would say that also you can't do everything, but you do something. That's the end of your argument. And that's your argument that makes God will. And so this, you got that passion, get it on. That's right.
Sean, we have a question.
No question.
Very good.
We have a question about how people can start or.
So I have a question about next steps and how people can get involved. And I'm going to go over that. Okay. So, to do this, of course, they're my personal friends, so they did not know. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in and you all for coming. We're going to do this session on our Alliance meeting. Our Alliance meetings are held monthly, and we have on this, is this the second measure? Yeah. And our trainings are monthly as well. So if you are interested in participating, this is the second measure? Okay, this is the second Thursday. Alliance meetings are second Thursday, and we have 2 types of training, one contract and connection training. If you are interested in training and becoming a part of this alliance and able to see the system and how the system works, see more information, come to a training. We already have people in the room that are already trained, that have access to the system and start operating files and all of that, and have all the resources and access to the resources for families to move them and start moving them in a quick manner with all of our help. So, for those who know any questions, ask them to look at this, how we connected. Make sure I have an email address. Make sure you sign up outside. I have your email address, call, contact information. If you're on Zoom, make sure you post your email information. I'm going to send out the next training dates. We have one set for next week, the 15th. We have a connection training here at the City Center on the 15th from 2 to 12. From 2 until 12, I will be emailing more information out regarding the training. And hopefully, you all that are in this room, you all that are on Zoom, that are part of this alliance, and let's together move families from the process to career. Thank you guys.